Are we headed into a snap election? Did Carney know Epstein? Is Canada about to ban X? Or has the Olympics gone satanic? All questions we want you to answer on tonight's show. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals. We are the political orphans. Guys, we weren't here yesterday because we weren't sure if you guys would show up. It was Super Bowl. We figured that
Super
a lot
Bowl
of people wouldn't
Sunday.
be here. Not that I watched that crap, but hey, to each his own, right? To
I
each
flipped through it.
its own.
It was garbage
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
Did you like the halftime
The
show with a
halftime
dude
show.
in a
I didn't see
dress?
it. I didn't see it. No. I mean, I think it's a bit overblown. Like, yeah, it's stupid, but like, it's always stupid. The halftime show always sucks. They haven't had a good halftime show in a long time. It should be the classics, right? It should be like the Guess Who or something. I don't want anyone who's like within the last 5 years who's big.
Well, what I find interesting is that my wife was telling that to me because I don't watch sports anymore. Like I like fighting, but outside of that, I don't have time to watch it anymore. But my wife was saying that you can watch the Super Bowl as literally two shows. You have the football game, and then you have the halftime show, which I find kind of ironic because I follow a lot of conservatives in the U.S. and they're all let's boycott
Yeah, they
the
had an
halftime
alternative.
show.
The Kid Rock.
Yes, and it made way more views. I don't know if you saw that, but the views are like 5-6
Like
times more with Kid
Yeah.
Rock.
That's a
So,
lot.
but here's what I find interesting about this is you're ready to watch a company that really don't care about your values, which is the NFL, but you're not gonna watch you're not gonna watch the halftime show. This is what I find ironic. They don't care about you in the first place. Like there's somebody I follow that released a post about I believe that it was in 2017 the NFL was brought to court for faking a game. And it turns out that in court their defense was that they are meant as entertainment similar to the WWE because they were questioned in court saying your games are fixed. And the NFL's defense was that they are entertainment. So they don't have to provide a real game. I'm paraphrasing here obviously, but how interesting, right? Oh, we don't have to provide the real but they won the case. The case was just dismissed. So either way, it is WWE for football fans. But
Yeah.
that being said, that was not the point. That's just a tangent. That's just a small tangent. But I wanted to ask you this because this is going. I don't want to say viral, but everybody's been. I'm just kind of ask you guys a question. Today is all about questions. So, do you think that we're headed into a spring election? And it seems that a lot of content creators, conservative content creators, are reposting this. Like the post that you're seeing right now, just vote. And it just says that Election Canada has placed orders for 700,000 poll tally sheets in preparation for a potential upcoming election. And this is being shared on all conservative social media. And as you can see, the source is Blacklock's reporter. So I went. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I think it's. I think it's probably going to happen. I think what I think happened behind the scenes is Carney probably tried his best to get a majority by stealing MPs, and I don't know. Maybe Pierre grew some balls behind the scenes or something, and he really put his foot down or something. I don't know. But for whatever reason, I think if he could have gotten a majority by stealing conservative MPs, I think he would have. I think if he's doing an election, it's probably because he feels like he can't. But I do actually think an election's coming. What I'm most kind of surprised a bit is I don't know if you saw there was like an article today about this, and it was Mark Carney and Doug Ford were like,
hold on. How about you shut the hell up and actually?
You got something on that?
Of course. Duh. Who do you take me for? I mean, I do hours of research for this shit, bro. But all to say that the point I was trying to make is that a lot of conservatives are reporting this like it's a fact, but they don't even. No, but they're reporting this. They're all reposting the same thing without actually saying what's the original post is. And the original post came from Blacklock's reporter. But as you know, unless you pay hundreds of dollars every year, you don't get access to their content. And here's the post that it started with. But even them, it's like Election Canada's placing orders for 700,000 poll tally sheets and other balloting supplies in anticipation for the next national campaign. Cabinet has denied interest in going to the polls for a second time in 2 years, though one MP noted people here are getting worked up. So the point I'm trying to make with this story is the conservative content creators are like, oh, we're going to an election, spring election, stop. It's a fact. Even the original post is not really saying that. It's just saying they ordered 700,000 ballots, which I'm not saying they're not going to an election, don't get me wrong here, but as somebody that worked with the government, they tend to buy their shit at the end of the year so that it represents their last year's budget and they don't lose money for next year's budget. And the end is March. Like, that's where their fiscal year, unlike us, it's not December, it's March. So are they really preparing for an election? Are they buying supply to replenish the ones they might not have replaced this year? Who knows? But I like how they're always speculating. Like, conservatives are wet dreaming about an election, right? They want, and again, when I say
do they
conservatives, I don't know, man. That's what it seems like. They're the only one reporting on it because, again, Blacklock Reporters is not a liberal platform. It's conservative platform, so they're the only ones reporting it.
Why would they think that Carney would go
Globe and
for an
Mail,
election if there wasn't an advantage to the Liberals?
Although the Globe and Mail, I would argue, is probably a leftist media. And that's what you were referring to earlier, saying that sources say Carney and Ford discussed an early federal election. The latest Prime Minister Mark Carney and Ontario Premier Doug Ford have discussed the possibility of an early federal election in casual conversations about the importance of a majority mandate to deal with uncertain economic times, according to 3 sources.
So Doug
Blacklock's reporter,
it's important to Doug Ford that there be a liberal majority.
This is what people are insinuating, but I could say that too. I have 3 different sources that have reported on this. This is the point I'm trying to make. Like, there's a lot of people that are making a big deal out of this on X, and I could not find any proof outside of Blacklock's reporter saying that they ordered 700,000 tally sheets.
Yeah, that's not.
And then
that might just be something they do anyways in 6 months after an election or something.
We're not saying, I'm not saying that it's not going to happen, because it could. I would be surprised if it happened, because I don't see the value for Mark Carney when all he needs is one extra person to walk over and he has his majority. But at the same time, I'm just trying to prove to people that a lot of those content creators out there, they just create content to get views. They're not looking, they're not digging in anything. They're not doing any type of research. They follow some media, they copy paste what that media is saying. And if you look, everybody's reposting themselves. They're just like, oh, I reposted that guy. That guy said it's true. I repost. Oh, that guy's saying it's true. I repost. They don't even dig. Like, one of the person on Jasmine Lane's podcast, Jasmine Lane's post is like, who posted this? What's your source? Then another one's like, how about you actually you copy the person that actually reported this, and then they copy paste the link to the Blacklock's reporter article that I just showed. So not only are people just retagging and reposting everybody's shit without actually investigating it, they're not giving credit to the source. I just find this very interesting that people are blowing this out of proportion, yet there's zero proof that it's happening outside of a wet dream. That's all I'm seeing.
No, there's certainly no proof. I think it doesn't. It makes sense to me. I mean, I think I generally don't think when like the Globe and Mail I don't believe they just flat out lie about their sources. I think they exaggerate them. I think they like if they say they have a source, I do believe there probably is one. Doesn't mean I shouldn't say they don't.
I'm a source, bro. I'm a source.
No, I know that it happens, but I think I don't know. I think I know that a lot of people on the right think that the media is like, I don't know. I think some of them try to uphold standards. It's just they don't even aware of their own biases for the most part. But I would be surprised if they just made something up like that. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't be surprised. But I don't necessarily assume every time I hear that they have a source that it's made up.
But it's not even the right. The Globe and Mail is a leftist media. It's not right.
Yeah.
So
it's leftist.
All I'm saying is my whole point of this is one of my gripe that I have with a lot of content creators out there is that they don't dig into anything. All they do is they see a story somewhere, they fucking regurgitate whatever the story is, and then they spin it in, do I agree with it or not? That's it. That's all they do. They don't do any more than that. That's where it ends. They don't do the type of research I do every single day and try. Before I open my mouth on something, I will research it. I want to make sure that you can trust what I'm going to say to the best of my research. Like if I'm saying something, I will tell you, but I researched it. I'm just not reposting whoever is saying to be accurate. And when this is the perfect story, because if you dig in, it started with Blacklock's reporter, which unless you're paying hundreds of dollars every year, you don't see the full article. You don't see the sources. And then they're like, oh, Doug Ford is helping Carney win a majority because of what the Globe and Mail said. They're sourcing 3 anonymous sources. That's the type of journalism we have today. That's what people trust. We're having an election because Election Canada is ordering a bunch of shit, and Carney is working with Ford because that's what the Globe and Mail said. Literally, the article that I read it. That's pretty much the extent of the Globe and Mail article. It's like 3 paragraphs. It's done.
Yeah. I mean, do you think Ford wouldn't do that?
Oh, no. Of course he's dealing with him. 100%. He would love a Carney super majority, because I think that Ford has hopes on becoming the Conservative Party leader. That would not surprise me in the slightest. That's one of his goals. But the point is that everybody's talking about stuff that they have no proof on, instead of trying to dig and do a bit of research. I'm just calling out the people that just repost whatever they hear without digging into it. And now all those big accounts, I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, but I want to be better.
That's what
I want to be better than that. I want to be better than just somebody that reposts what everybody says and don't do any type of research. Because if that's what we do, we're no better than mainstream media. Because how many times have I seen mainstream media get out with an article and then it's copy pasted? Like CTV copy pastes what CBC said, then it's on Yahoo, then it's on that box. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. I just don't want to be like mainstream media. It's easy to complain about mainstream media and then do the exact same thing that mainstream media is doing. Like, give me a break here.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wanted to take this. Celtic Last Deborah is saying, I was an election officer last federal election, April 2025. My recruiter is already asking who will work next election. You know, it's possible. I'm not saying that there's not going to be an election. I don't think there will be. I don't see why conservatives would be happy if there's an election. Or
I don't know why.
I don't think Pierre Poilievre is not going to. He is not going to do well. He is going to get demolished.
The fact,
but I'm not saying it's not going to happen. So maybe it's going to happen. Celtic, maybe you're right. Maybe Deborah, you're right. Maybe there will be an election, but they're really selling that idea on nothing right now.
Well, I think I don't know why. Like, I was surprised when you said the Conservatives were happy about this. This is a bad thing for the Conservative Party, because if there is an election, the only reason there is because Mark Carney wanted it, right? Like, because he doesn't
Oh
need
yeah.
to. If he doesn't want an
No.
election, he doesn't have to have one. So if he's doing it, it's
No.
only because he thinks pretty strongly that it's going to advantage him and give him majority. Now, say whatever you will about Mark Carney, but he's not a dumb guy. I think if he thinks that there's a big enough advantage to him calling an election, the polling certainly shows a big majority. And yeah, I get that the polling is not always right, especially lately, but it's like, it's not even close to, like, people will point to the Kamala Harris Donald Trump thing, right, where they were wrong because they said it was going to be close and it wasn't really close. But it's not even close to that. Like, for them to say the lead that Carney has in the polls, like, if he doesn't get that majority, then, like, polling is completely, like, there's absolutely nothing there, because it is a massive lead in the polls. And I don't see it.
But there's
I
a
don't see
massive
Pierre
bias though.
Poilievre. Sure there is. But even accounting for the massive bias, it's not even close. Like, Poilievre's not doing anything. Like, if Poilievre was, like, filling stadiums and there was a lot of energy behind him, then yeah, I could see that. But there's no reason to think why Poilievre would have stolen anything from him.
No, I agree, but I don't even believe that our elections are accurate. I think they're controlled. I think Mark Carney was selected to be there. And we've talked about this many times, how Election Canada, just in a riding near where I live in Terrebonne, they didn't even count all the votes, although they made the mistake. So they basically showed that they're very biased and they're not 100% safe. Like, they're not foolproof. They've showed that, which you can't take that one away. Does that mean that they control everything, that everything is wrong, just like Carlin said, right? Like George Carlin said, if voting mattered, they wouldn't allow us to do it. I strongly believe that that's the case. But I also strongly believe that if you had a legitimate election, Mark Carney would probably win it. That's the thing. Even if it was legitimate, with the amount of people that I deal with all the time, the people that I know in real life, they would not vote for Poilievre because they think he's a MAGA full Trump style, which he's just a liberal in blue. We've talked about this a million times, but I would not even be surprised if Mark Carney won a majority today, if there was an election.
I think he would.
Yeah. Stu is basically saying that it's all propaganda. Thank you for the tip, sir. Oh, yeah. And I agree with you 100%. Because one thing that I've noticed, because you don't follow a lot of air quote, right-leaning individuals in Canada, but one thing that I find very interesting is that since the convention, maybe it's just me that's noticing it. I don't think so. I think it's actually happening, but it seems that more and more the so-called conservatives, content creators, are following the same path. You know how many times we've said this, that the left is very good at establishing their narrative and then everybody follows. Like, everybody seems to get the same information at the same time and they just post very similar stuff. It seems like the conservatives, since the convention, have been doing exactly that. Since they all met in person, which obviously all I'm talking about is all a coincidence. Obviously, this is what I'm saying is not true. It's not a conspiracy. It's all a conspiracy theory, and it's all a massive coincidence. But it seems that ever since the national convention, over the past week, 2 weeks, they're all very aligned in repost. Everybody's reposting and talking about the same thing at the same time on 5 to 10 different massive accounts all over social media. So just that behavior wouldn't surprise me that an election is coming, because they're priming the people. And so that behavior, the behavior itself, is easier for me to believe that there's an election than what they're reporting on. Just the
Yeah.
fact that they're priming it, and now they're throwing fucking flowers to Pierre Poliev left, right, and center. I'm like, maybe there is something to an election. Maybe. What do you guys think in the comment section? What do you guys think? Do you think that there's an election coming? Are
Yeah,
we
I'd like to
looking
see
at a
what
snap
the.
election in April-ish?
I actually think we
April-ish?
probably are. I think we're gonna get one. I
We'll see.
think I think you say all Carney has to do is get that one vote. Yeah, I think he tried that. Like there is there it's not like every single Carney can't make anyone come over if they don't want to, and there's lots of reasons why. I think there's a lot. I can definitely understand why a conservative MP would not want to be the deciding one. It was one thing, I guess, to be one of the other two where it didn't change one thing, but that's gonna that person is gonna go down in history, and not necessarily in a good way. And I'm sure that weighs on some of some of these people's minds. We also don't know what Poilievre's done behind the scenes. Perhaps he actually grew a pair, and he somehow convinced anyone who was thinking about leaving that it would be very bad. It would not be in their best interest. I'm not sure, but I think if Carney could have got a majority, he would, and maybe he still will. But if there's an election, I think it's because he decided he was not going to be able to get that one more conservative MP.
Or he wants to make sure he has 4 years, 4 extra years, because that's something that they do all the time in Canada, right? If you look through Trudeau, every time there was like, I think he had 2 elections.
Yeah,
I
it
think he had
resets it,
three.
right?
Yeah, it resets it to 4 years. That's also a
Yeah,
good way for them to, if they know something is coming down the pipeline that's going to be very bad, they could have an election now in order to have their extra 4 years to kind of reset that timer.
yeah,
That's also a
yeah.
strategy. But, I just want to take what Trevor is
Basically, almost an
saying
extra year,
here.
right? Because if there's an election, it
Well,
would
yeah,
be a year or so
it would.
after the last.
Yep. Honestly, Trevor is saying, honestly, I don't think anyone cares if there's an election or not. You know what? I wish that was true, but that is not the case. A lot of people do care about an election because most people believe that our vote matters. Yet the last election showed that not every vote matters. That's a fact. You can't deny that. But I don't know. I think a lot of people do care if there's an election or not. I just don't like
Well, it
the
depends in
fact.
what way. Just Trevor, do you mean conservatives? You don't think conservatives care, or do you think liberals care, or just the Canadian public in general, the average Canadian? You don't think they would care? I they might be annoyed. I think people don't like the idea of going to an election every year. I would be annoyed just on that
And
on that on
you'd
that
be
note.
annoyed of an election. Oh yeah, I'd be so annoyed too because I would have to not vote again. Yeah, it's true. I'd be very annoyed by this whole thing.
I mean, it'd be great for the show. Give us lots of content.
But you know why? And this is, I had to go down the conspiracy road here. But one of the reasons why I think this is happening, because every single time something's being pushed in the media with not much proof behind it, so I always think, what are they trying to hide? What are they trying to hide? Like the Epstein file being the perfect example. When I saw that, why would there be sources on the right and sources on the left saying that there might be a snap election? I'm like, okay, cool. What are they trying to hide from us? What is the story that they're covering up right now? Did you hear that Mark Carney was mentioned 69 times in the new Epstein file release? 69 times his
Yeah,
name
I did hear
was
that.
dropped. So I'm always thinking, and again, I you looked into it because I looked into it, and it
I looked
doesn't seem
into
to
it.
be much.
Nothing seems.
It
No, I think it's mostly talking about him as the Bank of England governor, just at the Central Bank of England. I don't think it was just in past, just because these are elite men. I mean, honestly, I think a lot of that stuff is getting. There's definitely some really sketchy shit in those things, but there's a lot of people's names who are mentioned in there that, if you actually read what it is, it's not, in some ways they're being unfairly mainlined because their name is in there. Not every single person that's in there, because that's just a massive dump of emails, right? A lot of them are just normal business emails. When they're talking about fucking grape soda and pizzas, that's a little dicey. Those are a different type of email. But there's a lot of ones that are
they're talking about the Pizzagate. They're talking about Pizzagate.
Grape soda is code for it's pretty clear they're not actually talking about grape soda.
I'm looking right now for a somewhat of an expert. I approached a couple of guys that I know that are massively involved in going through the Epstein files to come on the show and talk about them. Because I was fully aware. I covered the Pizzagate when it came out. I know what a chicken is, and a chicken is not a fucking chicken. That's a young boy. Like, let's be honest here. Like Pedosa, the guy that was behind all of this shit. It doesn't look very good. But to go back, what I find interesting is this. So Mark Carney's mentioned 69 times in the Epstein file. It's still trending all over the place right now. That snap election comes in and then people start talking about this. But the part that always makes me, maybe there is something behind this, is when CBC makes a post about defending why Mark Carney is named 69 times in the Epstein file. Right there, I'm like, you guys could have just ignored it. But now you're adding fuel to it. And I have the video here. It's not super long. It's a short. But let's listen to this. And just, you tell me, at the end of the day, this is a show where I ask a bunch of questions. So I want people to tell me what they think. But that was posted 4 days ago.
Mark Carney's name in the U.S. Justice Department's library of Epstein files. His name appears in dozens of documents, mostly between 2013 and 2020 during his time as governor of the Bank of England. Let's check the facts. None of the documents show any communication between Mark Carney and Jeffrey Epstein. Instead, you'll find emails where his name appears in a daily newsletter with event updates like July 1st, Mark Carney takes over as Bank of England governor, and links to news stories like the challenges Mark Carney faces as Bank of England governor. Banks must keep to rules on liquidity, says Mark Carney. 2 emails reference Carney being investigated for a scandal involving investment firm London Capital and Finance. A London judge ruled in 2024 that the firm was a Ponzi scheme and found 5 men liable, but Carney was not named in the judgment. There's also an email that mentions a business luncheon hosted by Carney in his capacity as Bank of England governor. There's no indication Epstein attended that event. And there's one email from October 2025 that mentions Carney's name as part of this Associated Press story headline. Prime Minister Mark Carney says Canada will double its non-US exports as Canadians can't rely on US. In the past, fake images like these have circulated that portray Carney on Epstein's private island. They're not real. There are real photos that show Carney with Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell. These photos were taken at the 2013 Wilderness Festival in Oxfordshire, England. Maxwell was convicted in 2021 for sex trafficking underage girls and is currently in prison. Sources close to Carney told the Toronto Sun that he was never friends with Maxwell, saying his wife's sister went to high school with Maxwell and they had bumped into each other in public settings. You can search the Epstein files for yourself at justice.gov/Epstein.
So I always find that interesting when, there's nothing to see here. Here's why. We have to make sure. The day literally that the 69 came out, they were on it. But at the same time, they kind of gloss over the pictures. I got the pictures that they were showing here. And hold on here. I'm going to bring them up. But they're kind of glossing over.
You got it?
Oh, yeah. But I got the 2 pictures that they were showing. Carney. Here we go. That's number 1. That's one of the pictures. And that they're saying that those are real, right? They're saying that those
these
pictures
ones are real. Yeah, this is definitely real.
Definitely real. Well, even CBC says they were real. And then, hold on. This is the same. There is a second one. It is this one right here. There you go. Bang, bang. And this is the second.
Yes.
But they're not friends, right? Remember, they're not friends. But the same people are going to accuse Trump of being a pedophile because he appears in pictures. This is what, again, this is the point. Can you imagine if Pierre Poilievre would have had those pictures? As much as I dislike Pierre Poilievre, imagine. Do you think CBC would have came to the rescue of Pierre Poilievre and made a nice, clean video explaining this is what it happened. This is what it is. You have nothing to. Again, my point today, I don't know why I'm just criticizing what the news is showing because I think they're full of shit. Doesn't matter that you call yourself a conservative, you call yourself a liberal. They're all full of shit. They're defending Mark Carney the day that this came out.
Yeah. No, they would not be defending Pierre Poilievre, not at all. And that's where I think like the scandal is, right? I don't actually think. I know it's fashionable just to say everyone's involved in Epstein, just if you don't like them. I don't think Mark Carney's actually involved in Jeffrey Epstein. But the scandal is in this. Yeah, like they would not. The CBC is not supposed to be the Liberal Party's shill, right? Like they're supposed to be the national broadcaster. They would not do that for Pierre Poilievre. Absolutely not.
No.
And they shouldn't.
No,
they shouldn't. But they shouldn't do it for Carney either. Let people figure it out. Like, let people figure it by themselves.
Embarrassed Canadian. Keep up the great work, guys.
$20 tip. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Love your Ralph Wiggum with his thumb up his nose.
Yeah,
this is great.
I'm helping. I choose you.
But it is very. They're just so biased. No matter where you look today, it's all biased news.
It's ridiculous.
So, before we get to the main thing, I wanted to ask you guys, because that's something that happened a couple of days ago since we weren't here yesterday. We're going to address it today. But before we do, what are you guys thinking? Because there's another story that's developing. At least I'm covering this story because I'm all about censorship. I'm all about what the government is doing to kind of try to steal away our right to speak, because I'm not going to call it free speech because we definitely don't have free speech in Canada. But have you heard, so the New Brunswick government announced that they will no longer be using X. Then David Cochrane, the CBC poster boy, has closed his account. At least he suspended it. And the Liberal MP, Mark Gerritsen, said the same thing. Yeah, but remember, a month ago, I covered AI Minister Event Solomon saying that, no, we're not banning X, but we're in discussions about X. And then if you remember, the Privacy Commissioner of Canada is expanding their probe into X after the allegations of sexual pictures being produced by Grok. I don't like when people are making a big deal out of something. You don't want to use X? No problem. Just fucking leave it. You don't need to announce it. But the premier of New Brunswick made sure to do a bunch of interviews where she was saying that her government is leaving X because of those sexual pictures. Sexual pictures, by the way, for the people out there, I actually tried to produce those pictures. They're not possible. Grok refuses to do it.
No.
So I tried, and I also spent a couple hours over the weekend trying to find them. All those experts that are saying, 4 million pictures have been produced. Show me one. And you know what they reference?
Yeah.
People in bikinis. That's what they call sexualized pictures. So, Starmer was put in a bikini. I don't know if you saw that one. That one was hilarious, by the way. But is that a sexualized picture? But the point is that they're inventing things that I was not able to duplicate, and I asked Grok. I spent hours.
It's not a real concern.
But what do you think that they're advertising it? Because the New Brunswick government advertised it. Like the premier went on all different interviews to speak about it. David Cochrane made a massive post about it. Same thing for Liberal MP Mark Gerritsen. Then you have Evan Solomon, our AI minister, that's talking about how they're talking about Grok and X. And then you have our privacy commissioner that's actually probing them. To me, they're going to ban it. To me, it's a question of time before they try. At least they try to ban it. They try to give you an excuse. They try to get an excuse to ban it. And, a lot of people are like, but I don't like
How do you
X.
mean ban it? Like not allow citizens to use it? Like people?
Yeah. That would not surprise me that within the next... I don't like when you make a big deal out of something. When you make sure that everybody knows you're doing something, There's normally a
Yeah.
reason behind it. You're looking for the attention. Why are they looking for the attention? Because they're trying to put it into people's mind. I guarantee you that over the next few months, like over the next 4 or 5 months, you're going to see more and more liberal, left-leaning individuals that have audiences that will publicly leave X. Just say so.
Well,
Like they will make sure that everybody knows and leave.
There was a big exodus a little while back when Blue Sky came around, and all the libs
Oh, Jesus.
were going to Blue Sky, going to Blue Sky. Now a lot of them are back because they realize, oh shit, there's nobody over here. It's just an echo chamber, and it like, you know, the libs, like the wokes, they love an echo chamber. So for them to come over, if that's too much of an echo chamber, you know it's bad over there.
And like Trevor's saying, that's exactly right. Like Trevor's saying, they're doing it in Australia and the UK. We are part of the same monarchy. It will happen here. What he's referring to is Australia has banned social media for teenagers and kids 15 and under. They can no longer access social media. The UK has talked openly about banning X because of those sexual pictures. So this is in discussion. This is not a conspiracy theorist. This is not a conspiracy theory here. The UK has said, I played the video right here on the show about a month ago, where they openly said that they're looking into fining them something like $10 million a day or a percentage of their world revenue, whatever is greater. Obviously, it's more than 10 million. And they considered a ban if they didn't carve to their demands, which... Show me the fucking pictures that it produced, because I haven't seen them. I've seen a lot of articles saying they exist, but I haven't seen them because I tried. I really, really tried.
The only time I ever saw anyone even asking Grok for any type of like sexualized image, it was always people like only those OnlyFans girls accounts or like the e-girls who are asking, like posting a picture of themselves and saying like, Grok, turn me around or something like that. Just trying to get attention, right? There's nobody that is putting up like, you know, non-consensual sexualized photos. I've not seen it, and I'm on X a lot.
Charlottetown 4422 is saying, either way, I don't care, but there's a lot of people on X. I just care, like, as much as Blue Sky, in my opinion, is a place for pedophiles, I don't want it to be banned. As bad as this sounds, I want people to have the choice for themselves, because I've been on Blue Sky. It is a leftist echo chamber. If you want to get an argument with leftists or with woke people, go on Blue Sky and start posting right-leaning stuff. It's not going to take long before people start ripping into you. But supposedly it's been reported that there's a lot of exchange of pedophile pictures on Blue Sky, because it's not really checked. Yeah, that's something that came out like last year when Blue Sky really became popular for the leftists. And I understand why people wouldn't care. I understand if you don't use X, I understand that you probably don't care about X. But I don't want the government to tell me what platform I can and cannot use, because if you look at the statistics on X, it is supposed to be the most middle platform of all social media platform, as in there's as many people right-leaning as left-leaning on that platform compared to any other platform where it's more left-leaning. So right there, you should want that type of platform where people are from both sides, because there's a lot of people on there that are leftists. Like there's a lot of woke people on X. But I don't want the government to be responsible, to have the responsibility of banning social media platforms. That's my point.
Yeah, and this is a good point here by Derek Sittler. It basically says that. It says, I'm not saying we all wouldn't be better off with less social media, but they should allow self-regulate. Yeah, I mean, I think social media is actually really, it's a terrible thing for society, and it's a net negative for sure. But yeah, I don't want it banned. I want. I use it all the time. I think, you have to, it's just such a slippery slope once you get down to get the ban hammer out, and what's next, right? There's no reason to ban X. People in a free society, you even if you believe that social media is a net negative, is harmful to society. In a free society, you have to allow people to harm themselves if they so choose. I don't want any state telling me what I can't do.
Here's Trevor. The algorithm pushes and decides everything we see, no matter what side you're on. Actually, that's incorrect. That is actually incorrect. It will push. I completely changed my algorithm on Instagram. I've been spending the past, I would say, almost a month, because I'm a guy. Automatically, I'm targeted by half-naked women doing whatever the fuck they're doing. So every single time I'm on Instagram now, every time I see a post or something that appears in my page that is something I don't want to see, burger menu, hide this type of content. I'm almost out now. I'm almost out, and funny enough, it actually works. So is it going to stay? Who knows? But every single day I've been removing. Every single time I see a post I don't want to see, I'm removing, hide it. And they're not appearing on my feed as much.
Yeah, I misread Trevor's comment here. Like, in fact, it's yes and no. Like, yes, the algorithm does decide what you see, but it's also deciding what you see based on your viewing habits. And so that's where, like, leftists, and leftists will see left-leaning content for the most part. Right-leaning people will see right-leaning content for the most part. It tells us what we already want to hear. And it shows us the things that already wants us to hear, except for selected things that's designed to cause us outrage. It's designed to piss us off. Whether you're left or the right, it'll find something for you to be outraged about. It's basically just, outrage machines where they dial it up to 10.
Oh, but that's what they want. That's for sure. That's what they want, because that means that you spend more time. At the end of the day, the number one plan of algorithms is to keep you on their platform as long as possible by any
and that's
way
why they're so bad
possible.
Because they're incentivized for us to be at each other's throats. It's incentivized for them to cause division and drama and strife within society. But it's not good for us. It's not good for society.
Exactly, Trevor. That's exactly right. The algorithm only cares about how much time you're using it. That's it. That's the number one job of the algorithm, is to keep you as long as possible. And you know what's messed up is you have to give access to your camera, right? For all of those platforms.
Oh, yeah.
They ask access. And they track your eyes, right? You don't even need to click on a video. They know where your eyes are because they're tracking your eyes. So even if you talking about spooky shit, guys, you guys know I'm a Christian. I tend to see shit from a Christian perspective. I strongly believe that there's a spiritual war going on right now, and Hollywood is extremely good at showing us some stuff that is very immoral. And I'm curious for the people out there, because I love the fact that you're an atheist, but you come from a religious background. You can actually see what I'm talking about, although you might not agree. But I wanted to show that to the people out there. So the Olympics are going on right now, obviously. And a couple of days ago was the opening ceremony. If you've been following the Olympics for a little while, their opening ceremonies are not the opening ceremonies of us when we were young. Like, the opening ceremonies are very extravagant, and they're very, very interesting, to say the least. And obviously, I'm not going to put you guys through a 4-hour video, but I wanted to show a portion of the opening ceremony. I don't know if you saw it when they lit the flames. Oh, perfect. Because I got pictures, I got videos, but I want you guys to tell me what you guys are seeing. Here's the video of them. This is the part of the ceremony, when they lit the cauldron, or they just lit the Olympic flame that's going to be burning. So this is just that portion. Look at this video and tell me what you see.
It's a functioning machine, it's called it. And it's going to perform, if you will, for visitors throughout the games.
So there were two. There was one in Milan, and there was another one in another place of Italy.
Okay.
But do you see? Did you catch it? Did you see something there?
I see it. Upside down pentagram.
Uh huh.
Oh yes, yeah. I mean,
so. Okay, so this is the end. But no, hold on. I want to show you a zoomed out. So this is what you saw. This is
okay.
And this is clearly a reverse pentagram. But I just want to put it into perspective. Here is from very far away.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. Yeah.
Does that look normal to you? Like, what were you guys seeing there?
I mean, you can definitely. It's not like. It's not 100% a pentagram, but you can see. Yeah, you can definitely see it.
You don't see a pentagram there?
If it's intentional, they definitely wanted to hide it. But no, I do. I'm saying it's not a very like it. You know, it's the lines are a little curved a little bit. It's plausible deniability, but at the end of the day, yeah, if you're honest, you could see that there's a pentagram there.
And I want to remind people, this was Italy 2 days ago. This was France 2 years ago.
Yeah, the
Remember
France
that?
one was crazy. That was wild. I don't know why they did that. Yes.
But one of the parts
that was bad.
Did you see the little girl?
That was. Really
Do you remember? There was. You know how hard it took me at least an hour
this is
to
making
2
fun
hours.
of this is like mocking the Last Supper, right?
Well, so this is not. It was supposed to be a story. It's a myth, a Greek myth. I can't remember what it was. That's the story that they came out with afterwards. But this, you cannot find this video anymore. It literally took me almost 2 hours to find the little clip that we're playing right now because it's been cleaned off the internet. They removed it from the official Olympic website, YouTube. They removed that part from the 4-hour long video. That part that I just showed. They show the rest, but they don't show the span that we just saw, the zoom out. And you know, Fat Jesus, the woman at the in the middle, she even, because I covered this story heavily. I call her Fat Jesus because that's what she looks like. She posted a story on her Instagram on that day when people were all saying, no, it's an old Greek myth. It has nothing to do with that. She posted a story on her Instagram that she took down, basically saying, yes, we made fun of the Last Supper.
Yeah, I remember that.
But you know what's interesting though between those two things, because the Last Supper was a painting by Leonardo da Vinci, and you know the cauldron that I'm showing you here, people that are saying that this is not a reverse pentagram, which clearly it is, like I don't know what you're smoking not to see it. They're saying that this is another representation of Leonardo da Vinci's invention. Yet the picture that they show has 6 points instead of 5. So I'm like, really? So what do you guys think? Like, as you especially, I was curious as an atheist, I have a background in Christianity. Does that look right to you? Like this? Does that look right to you?
Yeah.
Like.
No. So I definitely see it there. Yeah. Like, so to me, that like, I mean, you can clearly see the upside down pentagram, but like I said, the lines are kind of curved. Like, to me, it's enough plausible deniability that I could believe that perhaps it wasn't an intentional thing, although I clearly see it. But the other thing that Last Supper, that was ridiculous. That absolutely was intended to mock Christianity. They were definitely trying to send a message. And again, like I'm not like I said, I'm an atheist. I'm not a Christian. But I would definitely consider myself a cultural Christian, and I found that offensive because what they're trying to do is reject our heritage, our history, right? Our everything to do with the West. They hate, and they're trying to teach people to hate it as well, and I don't like that.
And not only was Jesus fat, there's a child right there in yellow, and all the rest are dudes in drag.
Yeah, there's also there's like a trans Jesus somewhere, and it's ridiculous.
That was the last. That was the last Olympic, and this is this year's Olympic.
I just don't know why they'd even fuck around. Like, why you even fucking around with that shit? It's like, why even make it close, right? Why even give, unless this is the actually the intent, and it really, it really makes you wonder.
Have you seen Barbie Thug? Do you know who that girl is?
I do, yes. She was the Eurovision.
Do you remember that?
From Ireland, I believe, but she's like a queer witch or something like that.
She is a self-proclaimed witch, because that's another thing that I covered a lot when it came out, and this is for the people that don't know who
Bambi
I'm
Thug.
referring
It was
to right
not
now.
Barbie. Bambi Thug.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I meant. No, that's what I meant. Bambi Thug. Yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
This woman right here. Hold on, I'm loading it up right now. There you go.
Why was she?
No, but I'm just saying because it's happening absolutely everywhere you look. Like, it's happening at the Olympics. It's happening at Eurovision. Like Bambi Thug was a perfect example. Like her right here. I'm not going to play the music because it is troublesome. But on that one right there, she has a pentagram underneath her that's all lit around candles. She's a self-proclaimed witch. Then I don't know if you saw like Sam Harris, the type of show that he gives where he's dressed as the devil. Same thing with Madonna. I don't know if you saw her last show, 2023, 2024. She's talking about the devil, like in between scenes, like in between songs. There's kind of there's a voice playing in the background, and they're talking about devils, and it is messed up. It's absolutely everywhere. Just like yesterday, what's his name? Bad Rabbit or whatever the fuck his name is from yesterday.
Bad Bunny.
I'm gonna call him Bad Rabbit. Bad Rabbit. A bunch of dudes dancing on other dudes. Like, there was a bunch of dudes kind of rubbing against other dudes, and we're talking about the NFL. It's everywhere, man. Everywhere you look, there's
I agree.
There's suggestions.
I do not disagree at all about that.
And it's everywhere, man. It just, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that would have been inconceivable. People would have lost their shit if they saw that everywhere. And I remember watching Bambi Thug, and I went to the comment section. People, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so artful. I'm like, you do realize that this has an impact on you. Like, when you look at this. So I grew up listening to gangster rap. I sold drugs. I thought I was a gangster. I thought I was really cool growing up. But what you hear in your ears, what you look at, actually has an influence on you. I can't listen to the same thing I used to listen to 30 years ago because it makes me fucking aggressive. The same song I play now will put me in the same mindset as I was back then. Like, it plays with your brain. It recalibrates your brain. Bruce Lee said that never speak ill of yourself because your brain does not know the difference. So if you're always calling yourself stupid, your brain doesn't know the difference. So you will actually believe that you're stupid. They call that casting a spell. You can cast a spell on yourself. So don't tell me that this is just art. They know exactly what they're doing. It's like the last painting. Do you remember did you see the painting from King Charles a year and a half ago? Did you see that? Just after he became king.
He was all in red.
Yeah, but some people have reversed it and they're like, I believe in symbolism. Like symbolism is everywhere. If you pay attention, you know what you're looking for. But it's like the same thing here. Like you look at King Charles' painting, and does that look right to you? Looking at this,
A lot of red.
but here is what I was talking about. Look at this. So they literally split it in half and reverse it. Do you see in the middle?
Yeah, oh yeah, I can see it.
It's like
Yeah,
the
I
same
mean,
thing with.
I don't know if I
They know
I believe
what-
that stuff is intentional. I think the brain does a great job of finding patterns and stuff.
Oh,
But I mean,
yeah,
who
of
knows?
course, that did. Yeah,
Who
and those are our
knows?
leaders.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a ridiculous picture. Like the red certainly is it makes you wonder why would they do that?
Yep. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. There's significance there, but I wanted to talk about this. I love this stuff. I love to talk about what people don't pay attention to or what we take for
Yeah,
granted.
yeah,
People
yeah.
don't
No, it's
realize
interesting.
that
It's an interesting chat for sure.
I'm a big fan of horror movies, by the way. Like I'm a big movie buff. I love horror movies, and I saw an article saying that people that are able to watch a horror movie and go to bed afterwards are probably sociopath.
Yeah.
So fuck.
Yeah, man.
Oops.
So bad.
Oops.
Although I don't really, it's funny. I still don't really watch like the ones with like demon possession and stuff. Just because I grew up super religious, and even now, even though I'm not really, I don't necessarily believe that literally happens. It's still, I don't know, something. If you believe something as a kid, man, it stays with you your whole life. I'm still
But I think it
kinda
but it does matter. Just try to watch
Yeah.
a funny movie before going to bed and watch a horror movie and tell me your dreams are not going to
How
be
you
different.
sleep. Yeah. The Exorcist.
But this is how
or
much
something.
impact we've just grown so used to seeing a lot of violence all over the place. Like when we watch a movie, we're just used to seeing violence. But 100 years ago, before the invention of the television, that did not happen. That did not happen at all. It's like they were talking about like 100 years ago, the average boy today sees more naked women because of porn in literally an hour than the average men would see during their whole lifetime. We're
Yeah.
so used to being able to see nudity all over the place, and then we wonder why our boys are addicted to porn. We're so used to seeing violence all over the place, and we're wondering why, as a society, we seem to be more violent, or we're very desensitized to violence, so that we see things like this, like the painting, we see the reverse pentagram at the Olympics, we see Fat Jesus making fun of the Last Supper, and we're like, oh, that's great art. Yep, great art. At a competition with the best athletes in the world, the best thing they could do is have a bunch of dudes in dresses dance around Fat Jesus. But that doesn't have an
Yeah.
impact, right? Fuck. That's it. I'm done.
Oh yeah.
I was
No,
curious to see what you thought. I was curious to see, because of your background, it makes it a very interesting background,
Oh,
because you're an atheist now,
I
but you
definitely
come
see
from
it.
that.
I definitely see it. I definitely see it. And honestly, like, I'm not even saying that people aren't doing these things on purpose. I think, especially like the Olympics of France, they were absolutely doing that. I don't think it's an actual demons. I think it's just like people basically trolling, but it's people who are pushing an agenda, right? The LGBTQ plus whatever the fuck agenda. And a big part of being woke is about, self-hating, everything to do with the West, including Christianity. And I absolutely believe there are people out there trying to harm Christianity. Whether that's actually demonic or not is kind of, we can debate that, but we all agree that there's a concerted push by many people in the media to harm and damage Christianity while lifting up other religions.
I don't believe in coincidences, so I believe I don't believe in coincidences, so I look at this and I'm like, it's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere you look, satanic agenda is there. It's being pushed all over the place. Talking about movie, I'll end on this because, as I said, I'm a movie buff. Like, I watch a lot of movies, but there's a movie called Nefarious. I don't know if you saw that. You can find it for free on Tubi. But if you've never seen Nefarious, that movie, it's a movie, but it is brilliantly made. Do you remember Bach something Saint? It was two brothers, Irish brothers, that were going against the mafia. Like Boudonk Saints or something like that. Either way.
Boondocks, yeah, Boondocks.
Do you remember that guy? Do you remember that?
Saints.
You know, the old, not the guy that did
yeah.
the zombie series, but the brother. He's in that movie, and it's basically just the story of a criminal that is facing death sentence, electrocution, and he has to be reviewed by a therapist. He has to be seen by a psychologist to make sure that he is not crazy, because if he's crazy, they can't kill him because he's not responsible for what he did. So the whole movie is literally the psychologist and the guy that played in that movie, where he says he's a demon. He's a demon from hell that's invaded this guy. But that's the stuff that he talks, he puts society at the optic of evil. He's like, we've been working on you guys for thousands of years, corrupting your views so that you rebel against your God. But the way they explain it, they talk about everyday stuff, and you're like, man, it is true that we're fucked as a society. The type of stuff that we accept, that we think it's normal, is just, there's just two guys having a conversation, but he keeps on drilling stuff. And it's just one after the other, and you're like, man, it is true that we're really messed up as a society. So Nefarious.
Yeah, it's called
highly recommend. Nefarious, and it's just low budget movie, but you know, when it's just great acting, you don't need a lot of money to make a great movie, just great acting. But Nefarious, if you guys want to see a great movie, I saw it again this weekend. Nefarious. That's all I got. I'm done.
All right, guys, we're gonna put a pin in there. Excellent show tonight. Lots of comments, lots of engagement. If you are just tuning into the show and you want to support us, please consider becoming a member. You can do that through YouTube for the low price of $2.99 per month. You can also, of course, buy us a coffee, which you will see in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. And again, if you don't want to do either of those two things, another way to support shows, keep coming back. Throw those comments out there. We will get to them. This show is heavily based on audience engagement. And other than that, folks, have a great rest of your night, and we will catch you tomorrow night. Peace.